Commence the Endgame! Boom, 12-12 on the board. If I could just find my Ozolith. Baby, where are you at? We're almost halfway through the deck. What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be diving into a Dimir Soul Ozolith deck, and this deck is every bit as interesting as it sounds. So we're going to be focused on the Ozolith, which a lot of people either love or hate it, or whatever. People have mixed feelings about it. I, for one, personally think it's a very fun card, and not only is it awesome in this current deck that we have set up, there's so many other routes for this deck that, like, the deck tech wrap up at the end, I highly recommend, even if you don't watch all the matches, because I know my videos now here recently, I've been putting more matches in there to have more content of the decks. So if you don't watch all the matches, I do recommend you at least watch that in a little bit where we talk about, the upgrades for the deck, all the special little stuff, right? The sideboard options, that kind of stuff, whatever. Also, if you're interested in like little tips about how to play this deck specifically, or just in general, what to do in certain matchups or general tidbits and all that, I've been trying to do pro tips throughout the video, so be sure to watch the matches if you're interested in getting all the information possible from the videos, and watch all the way through, because I try to splash them in where I see the knowledge is most prevalent, or where I have a good example of it, right? Because I feel like the best way to learn, or the best way to see and then be able to understand, is with a live example right there in front of you, right? Anyways, all that out of the way, we're going to be diving into this deck tech or deck breakdown today. I do recommend you run 4 copies of the Ozolith. If you have them, I only have 3 copies, so we're only running 3. I've found that not drawing this card is very detrimental, if not to your mental health, to the health of the game. There's a whole lot of matchups where, had I drawn this, had I had this card available, we would have been fine. We would have been, maybe not came out with the victory, but we definitely would have survived longer, if not long enough to pick up the victory. So one of the nice and most prevalent things with the Ozolith is obviously the Soul Diviner, and that is kind of the main combo piece. This card allows you to tap it and remove a counter from an artifact, which is the Ozolith, a creature, a land, or planeswalker we control, and then draw a card. So obviously the Ozolith, you can get a bunch of random counters. People have the problem where they're like, oh, well, if you get 2 lifelink counters on the Ozolith, it doesn't do anything, right? Because putting 2 counters of like vigilance or lifelink or anything that's not a +1/+1 doesn't really stack. Well, now you have a way of sort of turning those additional counters with Soul Diviner into cards, which is, a nice little payout. And then as well, the Ozolith just doing its nice thing. So one cool thing about playing the Ozolith in Dimir is you have access to Dreadhorde Invasion, which before this card never really saw play, because you're spending all this life, right? It's not really that much mana, but you're spending all this life to get down zombies that then get removed, and then you have to recreate zombies that again get removed. So you just keep losing life, right? The Ozolith makes it to where when those zombies get removed, the counter goes onto the Ozolith. So the next time a zombie comes in, instead of being a 1/1, you now move that counter from the Ozolith onto it, and now it's a 2/2. And to say it gets removed again, back onto the Ozolith, back onto the creature, now it's a 3/3. So it's still gaining the counters every turn. And realistically, yes, some people are going to have removal throughout the entirety of the game. They just are. That's just how Magic works sometimes. But they won't always, obviously. And they won't even majority of the time. So you're going to get that 6/6 zombie. You're going to be able to gain the life back. And Dreadhorde is going to do what we all wanted it to do when it dropped, right? It's going to be able to give you that zombie army and feel good when it gets played, right? Because it's not just killing you. So definitely one of the biggest things from the Ozolith in this little combo. But again, you're amassing. You're able to use your Soul Diviner to remove those counters from the amassed tokens if you want to, and then draw cards off of that. Moving us right along, we have 3 copies of Faerie Vandal, which, here's the thing with Faerie Vandal and Soul Diviner. Since Soul Diviner draws you a card from removing a counter, and Faerie Vandal says that it gets a counter whenever you draw your second card each turn. You kind of have this ability of drawing a card every single turn with the Soul Diviner guaranteed, as long as you can get a counter onto Faerie Vandal, right? Because you remove the counter, you draw a card, which puts another counter on Faerie Vandal. So it's got this nice little loop to it. 1, 2. If you're not removing the counter from Faerie Vandal, then you're just putting counters on Faerie Vandal, right? So it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You notice up here we have a Dirge Bat, so if you mutate this onto the Faerie Vandal and it has the additional counters, or if you mutate it onto, you know, your Dreadhorde amassed zombie army, whatever, again, it has flying, it came in at flash, your opponent's not expecting it, yada yada yada. Aside from that, we have 3 copies of Lazotep Plating, which in this deck is actually in this deck is actually really, really beautiful. 1, it's instant speed, able to protect everything. You, your permanents, they all gain hexproof. Now they don't gain indestructible as what we see coming in, you know, Core Set 2021, but it's still very nice. You get to amass, which means you're going to build up your, you know, your zombie army that much more. And again, it's only 2 mana, so it's not a huge drawback. Speaking of draw, we have 3 copies of Radical Idea, which is going to allow us to draw and, you know, proc the Faerie Vandal, proc the Nadir Kraken, help us find our Ozolith, that kind of stuff. So down here, it sort of gets cut off a little bit, but we do have Tyrant Scorn, and I'm actually just now realizing that I meant to put my webcam back on the other side. Sorry about that. I didn't turn on the light earlier whenever I was recording, and now I'm not putting my webcam. It's a work in progress. I'm trying to get it all worked out. Anyways, Tyrant Scorn, great removal. It's only 2 mana. One beautiful thing about this is it does allow you to return target creature to its owner's hand, so you can return your own creatures with this if you want to. If your opponent's going to board wipe and you want to save a creature, you know, bounce back your Faerie Vandal or your Soul Diviner or whatever, you know, especially if you have Dirge Bat mutated on something, then you get 2 creatures back. It's just good, worthwhile. Moving us over, we have 3 copies of Nadir Kraken. I gotta say, I don't feel super great about this card. However, it's nice with the Soul Diviner when it goes off. It just doesn't go off that often. It's a lot of mana sinkage, right? Because you have to pay the 1 mana in order to put the counter on it and yada yada yada. But it is really nice when you can get a Nadir Kraken and get at least 2 tentacles, and then you get your Liliana down, right? Because then you can -4, sacrifice the tentacles, and essentially not lose anything, right? But that's neither here nor there. I love Nadir Kraken. I always want it to be good. It's just a little too costly. It is one of the cards that, you know, in the deck tech wrap up, I will recommend taking out, but you'll see that, and you'll see why in the matches. Moving us down, we have Midnight Clock. Again, fantastic card for Soul Diviner. I've already done a deck with these 2, you know, comboed before because it's just that awesome. Midnight Clock gets a counter on it at the beginning of each upkeep, so your opponent's and yours, so 2 counters on it every cycle of turns, if that makes sense, every set of turns, which means that you can have up to 2 Soul Diviners feeding off of 1 Midnight Clock, which is really good value, right? And again, it's going to draw you the cards. Say you get close to milling yourself because you've been drawing so many cards, you're able to put the hour counters on this, and then, you know, exile it and shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library and yada yada yada, basically. Moving us along, we have Dirge Bat, which, again, I wanted some targeted removal. I wanted some way to give the zombies some kind of evasion to, you know, get around our opponent's stuff, whatever. I'll dive more on into this at the end of the video. Dirge Bat is one of those cards that I recommend you either keeping or diving into, you know, further. It's one of those cards that I'm riding the fence about because I think, you know, if you take out Nadir Kraken and you add in some more mutate, Dirge Bat could be fine. At the same time, if you take out Nadir Kraken and Dirge Bat, you have more room for, you know, X other cards, right? Anyways, moving along, we have 2 copies of Enter the God Eternals. Again, going to allow you to amass up some more zombie army, going to allow you to gain life, which is fantastic in a kind of slower deck like this, which this is a little bit of a slower deck. Allows you to mill your opponent 4, which isn't huge, but, you know, the damage, the amass, the life gain, it's worth it. Key little note too, you can target your own zombie army when you go to do this, and you'll still, you know, get everything you want out of it and so much more. So just remember that, because it'll amass the 4 and deal the damage. And anyways, moving us along, we have 2 copies of Lochmere Serpent, and this is by far one of my favorite ways to win with this deck, right? So it's 6 mana, it has flash. For 1 blue mana plus sacrificing an island, you can make it to where Lochmere Serpent can't be blocked this turn. That's key. Remember that. And then for 1 black mana, sacrifice a swamp, you can gain 1 life and draw a card. We've already talked about how card draw is good with Faerie Vandal, Nadir, finding the Ozolith in general, finding your Liliana, that kind of stuff. For a blue and a black, you can exile 5 target cards from an opponent's graveyard, so it's really good at taking out those Euros, the Cat Ovens, you know, all that escape stuff, the Zenith Flare kind of stuff. It's so fantastic, honestly. Anyways, and then you also get to return Lochmere Serpent from your graveyard to your hand, so it's like, you know, hurt the top decks in Standard, not necessarily the top number 1, but, you know, some of the top decks in Standard, and get this big flash 7/7 creature which can become unblockable back into your hand. Yeah, sign me up. All for 2 mana. Sign me up, baby. But the really nice thing, while I say it's nice winning with this card, is because it has flash, you're able to play it down on your opponent's turn, and let's say they just board wiped or whatever, you know, they were worried about your big old Dreadhorde Invasion zombie, and they destroyed it, and they're like, ooh, whew, I'm safe for another turn. But all those counters just went onto your Ozolith, you know, say you had a 6/6 or a 7/7 or whatever size it was, you know, you got some counters in your Faerie Vandal. Point is, you got a few counters here. You bring in your Lochmere Serpent, flash speed. Now it has all those counters, so you're looking at a 14/14. You pay 1 blue mana, you sacrifice the same island that you just paid, you know, for that blue mana, and now you have a 14/14 that's unblockable, which is, again, one of my favorite ways to win with this deck, hands down. And of course, Soul Diviner and drawing into all this stuff allows you to ensure pretty much that you're going to have enough mana to cast this and sacrifice stuff and it be all a-okay, because honestly you draw tons with this deck, and it's not like those decks that just play 4 copies of Opt and 4 copies of Radical Idea where it's like you're only drawing cards. The card draw in this deck is more so secondary, but it's still very, very prevalent, and that's what feels really nice about it. Speaking of card draw and secondary and whatever, Commence the Endgame, right? We have it as a 1-off. Honestly, you could probably throw it in as a 2-off and be perfectly fine. It's a really fun card to play. It's 6 mana, instant speed, can't be countered, which is really nice whenever you're going up against those control matchups, right? You get to draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. This is really fantastic for those games where you're not exactly able to get everything down, you know, just boom, bam, boom. You don't hit mana curve, basically, because then you actually get to amass for more than just 2. You get to amass for, you know, 3 or 4 or whatever number of cards you have, right? So you're drawing, can't be countered. It's instant speed, and you're getting to amass your token. You're going to put those counters down, which, you know, again, will either go into the Ozolith or onto an actual zombie army, and then you're able to gain life through that. Last but not least, let's not forget the Dreadhorde General, the Zombie Queen, the one, the only Liliana, legendary Planeswalker. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. Obviously, that's good because, well, we don't mind our creatures dying. We have the Ozolith. We kind of are okay with our creatures dying. Then we're able to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, which, keep in mind, this is a zombie creature token. If you read over here on Dreadhorde Invasion, it reads, whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn. So let's say your Dreadhorde zombie army token creatures, whatever, aren't making it, you know, they aren't cutting it, they just keep dying. Your Liliana's token zombies are also, well, zombie tokens. So your Dreadhorde Invasion, those zombies aren't making it, those counters keep going onto the Ozolith. Now you can put them onto your Liliana zombie tokens, and then they can also proc the life gain. So, you know, I guess it's another target for you to select. Furthermore, you can -4 each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Obviously, this is great removal, and it still procs her like passive or static ability, whatever you want to call it. And then for -9, each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each type and sacrifices the rest, so they get rid of all their lands, creatures, planeswalkers, artifacts, and enchantments, minus, you know, the one that they choose to keep, which essentially allows you to win the game. Anyways, all that being said and out of the way, I know that was a bit of a longer deck tech or deck breakdown. Thanks everybody for sticking through it. And now we're going to go ahead and hop. Captain Mergoose, I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. I see the Dreadhorde. I'm so tempted to keep it. It's so risky. It's so risky. Overwhelmed Apprentice. Hello. Hi, Captain. Alright, well, don't go milling my Ozolith. We won't have a problem, bro. We do go ahead and play the Castle Vantress. Get down that blue mana, even though it enters tapped. We don't have anything to play on turn 1 anyways. This isn't a turn 1 kind of deck. A Transcendent Envoy. What you doing there, buddy? So I said before I was going to try to wait. I should have not played that swamp there. I should have played the Temple of Deceit to try to scry into an Ozolith. Alright, whatever. I know what I said. But I made the misplay on the swamp into the Temple of Deceit, so... And I'm a wholehearted believer of doubling down on strategies. I think going back and forth is a great way to never win. I think if you're gonna go a strategy, you should go all in on it. And hey, look at that! It just got Banishing Lighted anyways, so it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Are we going up to 3 mana and getting down the Midnight Clock, or are we getting down the Soul Diviner? I do enjoy the idea of the Batcher on Batcher action, but I would rather see an Ozolith. That's what I came here to play, so I would like to play it. Birth of Melitus. Is our opponent playing a weird Yorion Aura deck? Like Saga Enchantment Aura deck? Because that's what it's feeling like, yeah? I do need to get this down, but the Nadir Kraken allows us to start drawing cards, and well, the Batcher allows us to kill the Transcendent Envoy. So it's like Midnight Clock is great, but it's also not really where I want to be. If I draw into a land next turn and I can Midnight Clock into a Nadir, I'm much happier. So yeah, I think I'm waiting, and I'm using the Batra, or the Dirge Bat, whatever you want to call it. I want to see. This feels so much like a Yorion deck. Or Yorion, however, I don't know. People have their different preferences of pronunciation, right? Alright, Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain. What you got for me? By the way, Dead Poet Society. It's, love Robin Williams. Don't know if that's one of the best like endings to a movie. I gotta say, I didn't necessarily agree with the whole logic there, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. So we're taking out their Transcendent Envoy. That's right, I got a Batra in my arsenal. Well, let's go ahead and get down Midnight Clock. If nothing else, it gives us Lazotep plating to protect our stuff, so that's good. And well, we can draw with the Soul Diviner as well, so bonuses there. They're gonna gain 2 life. We're gonna hope they don't go for anything too spicy on us. I don't want that Archon making too many Pegasi. We actually have to allow this to happen, so no blocks. And Soul Diviner, activate ability, draw me a card. Nadir Kraken. Not what we wanted. That's okay. Another Soul Diviner. We can't enter the God Eternals and take out their Archon, but what's the chances that their other card is some counterspell? I guess we're about to find out, huh? What is this target player mills for? Yeah. Let's mill him. Let's mill him and kill him. Please don't have a counterspell. Thank you. Oh, did we just get rid of the Kiora Best the Sea God over there? Let me see what you got. Oh, baby. We did. We did. Am I drawing with Soul Diviner here? I mean, I can always draw come their turn as well, so I guess not. We're going next to combat. We're getting in 3 free damage. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Gotta say. Feeling on top of the world. Okay. Captain just chilling out. I can understand taking your sweet time playing Magic though. Magic is a game that you can really dive into and think out your steps. You know, this is the thing. You can play mindless Magic and you can play like in-depth Magic. I think we try to play in-depth Magic here. We try to have, you know, thoughtful plays and new combos, interesting setups, you know, all the above. Felt like my phone was vibrating, but I guess not. Oh, just smacked the desk a little bit, sorry about that. So we're looking pretty good. Captain Magoo's not so much. Thank you. By the way, I would have loved to have mutated that Batra down into that 4/4. We'd have a 7/7 flyer. Could you imagine? That's damn. Lands for days. We can commence the endgame though and get our zombie army huge. Let's draw. Let's keep drawing. Gotta be careful. You don't seriously all these lands. I mean, I guess it's bound to happen, right? We're drawing so much. Are we using commence the endgame? I mean, I think if we're doing it, we're using it at instant speed right here, right? In case they decide to not block our zombie. They are blocking our zombie. That's okay. No, we're not using it here. If we're using it instant speed so we can have all those cards in our hand. Right. That's what we're doing. Okay, beautiful. We have our plan. In turn. Yes, we could get down Nadir Kraken, but with how many counters we have for the Soul to Diviner to feed off of, and the fact that Nadir Kraken is... Well, sorry about that. We just got loud trucks going by this morning. But the fact that Nadir Kraken is kind of a mana sink, we don't really need that right now. We don't need that Tempted Me. Commence the endgame. Boom, 12-12 on the board. If I could just find my Ozolith, baby, where are you at? We're almost halfway through the deck. I'm missing you. I'm missing you something crazy. We have 3 Nadir Krakens in hand, but 0 Ozoliths. We have 3 Ozoliths in the deck for reference, by the way, everybody wondering. We're doing it. We're drawing more cards. I'm looking for the Ozolith. Come on, baby. Liliana. Well, I'm not upset about it, but I'm not happy at the same time. I'm not playing her either, because next turn we can have the Lazatep plating to defend her, so... I know that came out a bit wonky, but whatever. Get down a Soul Diviner that will also keep up mana for the plating. And yeah, you do what you do. This deck feels good though, you know, when it's doing good. I will say that. The fuck off, Brazen Bar. Fuck off. Do they scoop? Please don't scoop. I'm looking for an Ozolith. I'm looking for a little baby Ozolith. We've literally been through half our deck, haven't found one, but that's okay. You know, that's all right. But yeah, I'd say as long as you're not playing the Dreadhorde Invasions down too early, you know, and really killing yourself there, or, you know, dying to flyers, because Lord knows we've all been there. I think it's fun. Enter the God Eternals is another nice little thing. We're gonna decline there. I'm not trying to spend mana on useless stuff. I had the whole plan of using Liliana here, right? First things first, though. Let's draw some cards. Another Soul Diviner. Let's draw some cards. Faerie Vandal. I mean, at least it plays into what we're doing, right? All right. Oh, we actually don't even have the 2 mana for Lazatep plating, so I didn't even really need to do that. That's okay. We're not going to do the sacrifice because we have so many creatures. It's not even funny. They're looking for a board wipe for sure. If they do board wipe us, what are we returning to hand with Tyrant Scorn? Are we just getting the Batra back? I really need that Ozolith to happen. Like, really, really need that Ozolith to happen. Because if they board wipe us and we don't have the Ozolith and I just lose 13 +1/+1 counters because of poor card draw, I'm going to be a little bit salty. Alrighty, let's see it. Captain Magoo's Vanishing Light. Comes down on the 13-13. I mean, we still picked up the victory, but it's just sad that you go through half your deck looking for the combo and never find it. It is a testament, though, to how good this deck is, even without, like, getting its combo off. So that's kind of nice. Vic P. Vic Pay? I don't know. Anyways, we have the Dreadhorde, we have the Soul Diviner, and we have a Lochmere. I gotta say, I'm not super happy about the Lochmere, but I am happy about the Soul Diviner and Dreadhorde. If we can just hit the Ozolith now. Oh, baby. It's on. No more lands, thank you. I do need some more black mana, I'm not gonna lie, but at the cost of drawing more lands, I don't think so. Yo, get out of town with your agonizing remorse. What do you think you're doing? Take my Lochmere. Take my Lochmere. They might take the Dreadhorde Invasion, in which case I'm okay with that, because stacking down 2 Dreadhorde Invasions off the rip, that's a little spicy. Don't take it. Don't take Soul Diviner. Don't do it. Yeah. No! That was a last minute move. You bitch, you. Alright. Say it with me, chat. Ozolith. 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 Could really use one right about now. Ashiok, hey buddy, what you doing there? Don't. Okay, alright, we're fine. You're good. It's all okay. Can I get an Ozolith here? No, damn it. Come on, game. Just pepper one in. I don't think I'm playing the Lozatep plating because we can give our stuff hexproof, right? If I had 4 mana, you know, I'd play Dreadhorde plus Lozatep, but we can't, so it is what it is. We're allowing that because I'd rather Lozatep plating next turn when they get another look-see into my hand, right? So this is fun. No Ozolith. Oh, beautiful. It's giving me a little mini heart attack every time they go to mill me. I'm like, oh man, if you hit like 2 or 3, obviously we only have 3, but if you hit 2 of my Ozoliths, oh, baby, so happy. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now their Ashiok can't do his stuff. Everything lives. Okay, well, everything doesn't live, but you know. Oh, and minus effects still give us the counters? Well, oh baby. Oh baby. I wonder if they've realized what we're doing now. This is gonna really, really dig into our life, but that's okay. Take action. Put them all back on there. Oh, look at that, and the zombie army just immediately got bigger. It just popped up 2 zombies behind him. He was like, yeah, we learned our lesson. We will no longer come in as a single zombie. This is beautiful. I don't know if this is as good as what I'm thinking it's going to be, but they literally can't remove our Dreadhorde token without having removed our Ozolith, right? Okay, well that works, because they're just getting rid of the counters. That certainly works. But how many Heartless Acts can a guy have? You know, 4. We do have Commence the Endgame. We also have Lochmere Serpent, so I'm super happy about that combo. I'm passing it back to the opponent because yeah, this comes down with flash. The main idea behind the Lochmere Serpent, by the way, is you're just getting rid of all my battery. Is to have it come down with flash speed once you have enough counters on your Ozolith, and then you just put them all on Lochmere. You sacrifice an island, it can't be blocked, and you finish them, right? So we'll see. I may go ahead and commence the end game here. Do it to it. Because they were probably banking on killing my Lochmere there, huh? Alright, Dreadhorde, you're big enough to gain the life. To gain the magical life. I say we go for it. And we're not going for their Ashiok because I couldn't care less. I want to go back up to 20 life, please. Thank you. Beautiful. Are we getting down the Faerie Vandal / Nadir Kraken? Maybe. I mean, even if they board wipe us, the Ozolith saves us. So yeah, sure. You can't overcommit with Ozolith, kind of. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. Also, Faerie Vandal should have came in flash speed. Yeah, I know. I'm just being a little goofy now. I'm just super happy about this little combo, you know what I mean? Heartless Act, I'm an octopus. Kraken. Okay, Kraken. Sorry. They're taking out Faerie Vandal, but that's it. You're just gonna leave the big old 7/7 alone. Next turn it's gonna be a 9/9, you know? Things aren't gonna get easier on you as far as that creature goes. We're definitely playing the Soul Diviner. This combo is the Soul Ozolith. You have to. And we're going up to 27 health. Oh baby. The opponent's got to have an answer here. You can't take my Lochmere Serpent, bruh. Can't do it, won't do it. Testing Arena, used a popper deck, stole opponent's rare, and beat him with them. Nice. That's how you do it. That's how you stick it to the man. What's going on here? You know you can't remove it, so what's happening? Are they roping me? Don't do it, Vic Pay. I'm really enjoying the deck here, so if you could just casually allow me to scoop up thy victory, I'd be rather happy about it, you know what I mean? Why does this always happen to me? Is this, by the way, that's a good little note, a good little side topic while we're in this timeout, I guess. Does this happen that often to you guys and girls out there? Are you oftentimes left waiting for your opponent to come back and make plays? Do they feel like they're roping you sometimes? Some days, often days. Does your opponent use all of their timeouts? Call 1-800 blah 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 blah. You know, like the old infomercials where they just try to solve a whole world of problems. I gotta say, I'm always skeptical when this happens. We were playing, now we're not. It's like it's rigged. Every time I go to have fun, and they still have a whole nother timeout. Magic, can we get a better system? Probably not, huh? There's realistically not a better system than what's happening right here, right? And again, this may not happen to that many people. I imagine since I play Magic a crap ton, literally a crap ton, like it happens more often to me just based off numbers, right? Well, it looks like they're actually timing out, so maybe, you know, maybe they did step away. Oh, I should have used Castle Vantress there. It's okay. We're picking up the victory here. No need to wait or anything like that. We'll just swing in next to damage and yahoo! Ozolith Dreadhorde Invasion Soul Diviner. Granted, we didn't use a Soul Diviner here. It was a nice little end capper, I suppose. Jeff the Bear. I love your name. Absolutely love the name. I mean, I guess we'll keep it. I'm not turning away a Liliana, and Soul Diviner's nice. We got a little bit of removal, so sure. Good split on lands. Now we just need that magical dream of finding an Ozolith. That's a good joke. That's a good joke. Terramander doing terrible stuff. So they got a shock, huh? You got a little shocky. It's okay. Soul Diviner avoids the shock, so that's good. We can go for a Kraken, which also avoids the shock. We can go for a Tyrant Scorn. I'm fine going for the Kraken. We'll see what's crack-a-lackin'. Also, it means when we go get down our Liliana, if we can get out some Kraken tokens, we'll be A to the OK, right? I don't really want to swing in, do I? We're not looking for a general beatdown on the opponent. They're just going to shock us in the face. They've had enough. They said, I'm getting this. Okay. Jeff the Bear, you are certainly being a little grizzly. Now, if I pay you one here, I can't get down the Batra, so I'm not paying one here because I'm getting down the Batra. I guess I just have to accept the fact that we're not. This isn't a Soul Ozolith deck. This is a Soul Never See Ozolith deck. No Ozolith. Like, how many games have we played? We've played at least 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes of this deck. It's just crazy to me, the odds, right? But if I wasn't recording, if I wasn't streaming, I'd be hitting Ozolith every game. The combo would be working non-stop, because that's just how it goes with content creation in the end. I know my other content creators will agree. Am I chum blocking here? I don't think so, actually. While there's still little 1/1s and they can't exactly pay, I think it's fun. I don't want them to, like, shock my Batra. You know what I mean? Okay. Alright, well, we still have mana for the Tyrant Scorn. We can get rid of one of the Terramanders. We can still block with Batra if I want to trade out. I guess I should. We're getting low enough. We do have mana for, excuse me, we do have mana for Liliana as well as 2 useless creatures to sacrifice though, so, you know, as long as the Terramanders aren't an actual threat to killing us, I don't know that it's wise to worry about blocking them and potentially lose our Batra for nothing. Of course, hey, you know, Lava Cool, it happens. We could have bounced our own Batra there. I think it's better to kill the Terramanders. Is it? No, because we're getting a Liliana down next turn. I definitely should have bounced the Batra with Tyrant Scorn. Sucks. Sucks that you realize those plays a second too late. Decline. Decline. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. By the way, before we get down, what's her face? I am gonna tap this and draw. Okay. Just wanted to check. Just wanted to see if I could maybe find an Ozolith. Nope, that's okay. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Alright, what about now? Nope. Nope. This has become a game in and of itself. Oh, alrighty. It's okay. We got this, right? I also love, we only have 2 Batras in our deck, but they are showing up quite often as well. Same thing with Faerie Vandals. We only have 3 of those. We're seeing those pretty consistently. I just find it odd, you know? It just seems a little bit strange.
Smelly, but effective.
We can mutate the Batra down, I suppose, but not really a point to doing that right now. Oh, I have to discard a card, so we should get something down here. Alright, well, tell you what, we were going to play the Faerie Vandal at instant speed. We'll go ahead and just play it down at regular speed. It's looking like we're going to come back and win this match, but like, how many games do I have to go through the top third of my deck without seeing, you know, a card that should realistically show up in the top third of my deck? Like, we have a 1 in 20 chance of drawing Ozolith every game, just like, you know, in our opening hand in general, right? Because there's 3 out of 60. But feeling a little bit lower than that. Jeff the Bear, they're gonna scoop it out. I feel happy about the victory. Zebra Party, man, that sounds fun. For some reason, I just immediately imagine, who is it, Melvin? The guy from Madagascar, right? Escaped to Madagascar. That's what I imagine. We'll keep it. We have 2 Soul of Honors. We have the potential to go deep diving into our deck. Batrant, no thanks. Nah. You saw your time to shine. I want to see an Ozolith. I'm like, at this point, I'm like Ozolith or bust. So, we can get down the Soul of Honor into a Nadir Kraken. If we still only have 3 mana, we can pay the 1 and then get down another Soul of Honor, put a counter on our Kraken, and draw with the first Soul of Honor. So that's kind of a nice little thing. I think this is a good deck, like I said. I just think, like, man, has probability been getting us today. Maybe playing 4 copies of Ozolith isn't a bad thing. Still no Ozolith there, thankfully. But it's like, it's always on the bottom of our deck or something? Like, what? I see Liliana more than I see Ozolith. And again, that's a 2 off. It's alright. It's one of those, huh? It's one of those. Okay. That's alright. No qualms to be had. Not from this guy. We get down a Soul of Honor. Ha! Psych! I did not see that quench coming. Looking for the Ozolith. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Don't you dare mill me an Ozolith. Ashiok. Bro, you son of a bitch. It was literally the next card in our library. Well, that was it, folks. We saw one. Probably won't see another one for a whole nother year. That's okay. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I want to get rid of that Ashiok. He took my Ozolith away. Unforgivable. We're also going to Radical Dia at instant speed here. Just don't hit another Ozolith, bro. Just don't hit another fucking Ozolith. Although I will say, out of the top 30 cards so far, 28, whatever, we have only seen one Ozolith. So again, they're all on the bottom of the deck. Wizards, I'm gonna have to write a complaint. This ain't cool. Hey, look at what we found. Went through 34 cards, but we did it. Man, it feels so good. I don't know if we're even gonna be able to win this match. Like they might just mill us. Might just mill us and kill us. But we're gonna have to try. Alright. Well, at least we have something we can discard with Radical Ideas so we can draw something else, you know? You're also playing cycling. Zebra Party, what is actually going on here? You having a bad day? Feels a little bit like it. We're down to 18 cards. We got to be careful about how many we're drawing. Of course, good old Lochmere, a timely placed Lochmere, right? That goes straight to the heart. Alright, cool beans. We got this. No way we don't have this.
My victory was but a dream.
Right? Ladies, gentlemen. That deserves a nice. I don't know what you're looking for, but that deserves a nice. Or you're just looking to mill me a little bit more. Hey, look, I have a Lochmere too, bro. So put our Nadir Kraken big enough to deal with their Lochmere. Just outright as well, right? We want to leave mana for the Lazotep. Probably should have played... Yeah, okay. I've made a mistake. What we can do, though... I probably don't want to do that. We'll leave the chum blockers alone. Leave the chum blockers alone. You finally taking out my Kraken? Why would you do that, game? Like, why is Magic trying to just screw people with that? Oh yeah, we're gonna put the lowest priority target first. So 5 counters going back onto the Ozolith. That's nice to see. Right. And we're just ending on that note. Zebra Party. They didn't find what they needed. We're picking up the victory, and we finally found an Ozolith. Icy Grim? I don't know. Don't like the fact that we only have 2 cards. I do like the fact that we have Faerie Vandal plus Radical Idea, so we can at least go somewhere with that. We're also getting to Scry, so... Sure. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, has all of the worry been for naught? Smartest to go for the Soul Diviner, even if he gets removed here. As far as mana efficiency goes, it's smartest to go for him here. Because next turn we guaranteed get the Ozolith Dreadhorde on the board. So. Alrighty. Oh, baby. Ozolith Dreadhorde. Boom, boom. It's happening. And we also have Lazotep plating to protect our Ozolith in case our opponent's playing some weird artifact removal deck, right? So, Faerie Vandal we can wait and play down on their turn. And I gotta say, I am super excited to have the combo. Super duper excited. If I do this, it does protect it. Sure. So Ozolith gets those counters. We get another little 1/1 down thanks to the amass. Alright, so our token's getting there, and we're at 5 mana, which means we can almost use Commence the Endgame. Oh, beautiful. Of course I'm doing this at instant speed. It puts our token to 6, which is enough to life gain. Beautiful. It's happening. It happened. The Ozolith Dreadhorde Invasion combo. We finally got it to go off. That's fantastic. I'm so super happy about that. Alrighty, you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you. I know it's a long video. I try to put, you know, more and more content into these videos because I think that's what people want to see. And if I'm going to be playing that much, you know, I don't see why I shouldn't be sharing my games with y'all, right? Anyways, welcome to the Deck Tech or Tech wrap up. First and foremost, if you made it this far, I'm going to assume you actually like the content, so please be sure to remember to click that like button as it helps each and every video, and you know, personally, it makes me just feel really good about myself. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, all that stuff, please feel free to leave it down in the comments below or type me out in live chat. Now that we've been doing these live premieres, I'm really enjoying hopping in and talking with y'all, you know, live about the videos, things that could have changed, mistakes that I made in game. I think there's a lot of value to be had in those, so for the time being, we're going to continue them until, you know, I make a decision one way or the other. Anyways, if you're looking to catch us play these things, oh, and remember to subscribe, of course, if you're new here. Click that little bell icon that pops out afterwards as well, and then you'll actually get notifications, you know, whenever I post videos and post posts about not posting videos or about spoilers or whatever, you know, it may be. If you're looking to catch us play these things live, like actual live and not just the YouTube live premiere or whatever, be sure to hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpillikin. We're live, you know, here and there. I try to go live at least 2 to 3 times a week. Here recently, I've been going live every morning, but, you know, I can't promise that I can continue that for the rest of eternity, obviously. So there's that. And then last but not least, if you're looking for a Discord community to join up with, down in the description of every single video, there's a link. I recommend you hop over there, check it out. If it's your cup of tea, if you're liking the vibe, you know, maybe stick around with us. If not, just dip out, you know, it's not a big deal. But certainly recommend checking it out and seeing, you know, seeing if it's a community you could vibe with or play with or whatever. Anyways, on into this sideboard madness for the Soul Ozolith. There's a lot of options here. Just gonna go ahead and warn y'all. So this might be a little bit of a longer deck tech wrap up, but I think it's gonna be chock full of information. So be sure to watch through it, right? Anyways, if you're going to go deeper on the Dirgebat Mutate, I'd mentioned this in the beginning. I believe that there are ways to do it. Mothra's Great Cocoon. One, you know, it makes it to where this creature gets counters, which helps with your Ozolith. If it gets removed, you know, you're not losing too much. It was only a 1-mana creature. It's a great blocker up against mono red as it has 2 health. So it has some reasons to be put into the deck and to be played, right? Furthermore, if you're going to be going for those mutate options, I recommend Sea Dasher Octopus very, very highly. One, you can throw it on Faerie Vandal, and then you have this creature that's sort of drawing you cards and constantly buffing itself. 2, we've already said it probably 10 million times in the deck tech, but card draw in this deck is really, really awesome, really, really key, because it allows you to get to your top end, allows you to draw your lands, you know, pretty much everything you're looking to do, right? So that's pretty much it as far as the mutate goes. Obviously, there's Insatiable Hemiphage, but it doesn't really do anything as far as the counters go. So, you know, that's the point where you're looking more at a Dimir mutate deck and not a Dimir Ozolith counter deck. So that's why we're only featuring these 2 mutates. I don't really recommend diving into the mutate, but I felt like I should touch on it for those people that are like crazy insane about mutate, right? Now, on to the other side of things. You want to take advantage of Ozolith in a different manner, other than just +1/+1 counters. In this specific deck, I was trying to go for the card draw. I was trying to see like how efficient I can make it if I just focus on the +1/+1 counters and don't go for the side stuff. But in all actuality, I think something like a Boot Nipper or an Unexpected Fangs, maybe even a Wingspan Mentor or a Duskfang Mentor would really, really benefit the deck. So diving into each one of these a little bit individualistically, right? I think I just repeated myself. You know what I'm saying. We're going to take a little look-see. So Boot Nipper at 2 mana, it's a beast, it's 2/1. Nothing exciting there, but whenever it enters the battlefield, you get to either put a Death Touch counter or a Lifelink counter, and then obviously it's going to get removed here or there, whatever. But that Death Touch or Lifelink counter does go onto the Ozolith. I recommend Lifelink. And then you're able to put a Lifelink counter on, you know, whatever creature you have onto the battlefield, and it doesn't require you to have that 6 power zombie token, whatever, just to gain life, right? Following that same sort of suit, Unexpected Things, put a +1/+1 counter, great for the Ozolith. Put a Lifelink counter on target creature, great for the Ozolith. It's 2 mana, it's instant speed, could save one of your creatures, could really help you out in a game. Again, I recommend checking it out. It's only a common, so it's also very, very cheap. And then pretty much the same thing with Wingspan Mentor, except this is more so on the evasive side, right? So whenever it enters the battlefield, 1, you're getting a creature out of it, so that's a little bit more than Unexpected Things. 2, you're able to put flying on target non-human creatures, so you can put flying on your zombies, and then you have this flying thing that can potentially gain you lifelink, and it's kind of crazy, right? Furthermore, you can, if you get into this weird situation where you have your Dirge Bat and your Faerie Vandal, and you've put flying on your zombie token, you can pay 3 mana, tap this card, and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with flying, which again, when they all die, it all goes on the Ozolith, and so it has this weird niche little thing where it might become relevant. Prevalent. How about that word, Chance? Try that one on for size. Anyways, if you're going to go for one of the mentors, I actually kind of prefer Duskfang Mentor. It's 3 mana. Similar effect, except instead of flying, you're putting Lifelink counter on target non-human creature you control. And then for 2 mana plus tapping it, you're going to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with Lifelink. And, well, you know, then you can just go kind of bonkers with Lifelink, and you can play this alongside Unexpected Things and Boot Nipper, and, you know, kind of have Lifelink everywhere on all your creatures, gaining life and not worrying about Dreadhorde Invasion killing you, plus, you know, keeping all those counters on the board and all this and that. Now, if you're going to move away from Mutate, which again I kind of recommend you do, in all honesty, if you're going to, well, hell, let me move the sideboard. If you're going to change things out with this deck, I do recommend you're taking out the Dirge Bat and the Nadir Kraken. Aside from that, there's a few options you have here and there that you can remove. You can remove 1 copy of the Radical Idea. You could remove 1 copy of Dreadhorde Invasion, maybe. Faerie Vandal, depending on what you are putting in. Maybe 1 copy of Lazatep Plating, depending on how confident you are. Maybe the Midnight Clock, if you are very confident in gaining counters on your creatures and just want to work off that and not have this sort of deadweight artifact that honestly feels a little bad for 3 mana. It's nice with Soul Diviner, but when you play it out, it is slow. So aggro matchups love to see you do it, right? Anyways, if you're going to cut those cards and add other things in, I do recommend you looking at some other removal, because the Dirge Bat is some removal, right? So first off, we have Elspeth Conquers Nightmare, or Elspeth Conquers Nightmare. Played too much Magic, ladies and gentlemen. I've played way too much Magic. Elspeth Nightmares, 3 mana, enchantment saga. Destroy target creature an opponent controls with power 2 or less. Allows you to hit, you know, Priest of Forgotten Gods, Fervent Champions, Scorch Spitters, things along those lines that are kind of annoying. And, you know, you generally don't want to be spending removal on. However, this card gives you a lot of other effects on top of that, such as target opponent reveals their hand, you choose a non-creature, non-land from it, and then that player discards that card. And then for the third step, you're going to exile target opponent's graveyard. So again, you're hitting those Euro decks, you're hitting those Cat Oven decks, you're hitting any escapes or jumpstart decks or any of that kind of madness, right? Moving us down, we have Grim Dancer. This is one of those cards, again, if you're looking for more counters to go into your Ozolith, more counters to be able to be put onto your zombie army, Grim Dancer is a great choice. 1 is 3 mana, comes down as a 3/3, and then gets 2 different counters, either Menace Death Touch or Menace Lifelink or Lifelink Death Touch, you know, whatever combination you want. This is one where, again, I recommend Menace Lifelink, unless, of course, your opponent keeps on removing stuff, and Death Touch is just kind of where you need to be at, right? But the Menace Lifelink is going to make it to where your Dreadhorde zombies are able to just swing in kind of freely, gain that life back, again, without having to be at 6 power. Crystalline Giant, you can't have an Ozolith deck and not mention the Mecha Godzilla, the weapon, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's fantastic. You get counters of all kinds: flying, first strike, death touch, hexproof, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, vigilance, and +1/+1. Yes, I think it should go on the deck, but we just very, very recently did a Crystalline Giant. By the way, if you're looking for that video, shout out to myself. We did a video on a Crystalline Giant Ozolith. Whole little, oh no, it wasn't Ozolith in there, but it definitely should have been. Anyways, go check it out. It's a few videos ago. So we did that deck, and I didn't want to, like, you know, sort of meld the two decks too closely together. And I know if I went for the Crystalline Giant, it would have turned into a whole different kind of deck. So I do highly recommend throwing in Crystalline Giant, especially in that 3-drop slot where I had Nadir Kraken. I think Giant's awesome. Again, more onto the removal. If you're looking for something to replace Dirgebat that's very nice, it has an exile effect, something like that, Eke to Extinction is very lovely. If you're looking to go like full blown in on the lifelink, right, and just dive into it, I recommend trying something along the lines of Revenge of Ravens, right? And maybe not Revenge of Ravens. I'm back and forth on this. So maybe Revenge of Ravens, because it allows you to not have anything on the board while still having a board presence of, hey, I'm going to gain life if you attack, right? So Revenge of Ravens, I'm back and forth on. But going for removal such as Erebos' Intervention, where you also get to gain life and it has these other effects, and then going Bolas' Citadel, right? Because you can put all these life counters on things, yada, yada, yada. It's risky. But if you get it and you start going on a tear, you're probably going to hit your Ozolith. I say probably because you never know how much life you're going to have to pay or whatever. But you might hit a Liliana. You might hit a Dreadhorde Invasion. You might hit your removal. You know, it's just a fun one. I don't know if it makes the deck more efficient necessarily, but it definitely makes it more fun. So if you wanted to remove a Commence the Endgame and throw in Bolas the Citadel, I don't think anybody would judge you, honestly. It's a very fun card, and I try to make it work, y'all know, in a lot of decks. So there's a lot of options we could have done here, a lot of different things we could have tried out, and a lot of things, hey, we may still try out, because honestly, the Soul Ozolith, this isn't just a one-off deck. This is fun. This is unique, and it's great. You know, we may play this again before the next set comes out, just to dive into some of these side things, because honestly, just talking about it makes me excited thinking about the lifelink counters on the Ozolith and yada yada yada. Anyways, that is going to do it for this video. Like I said, this is one of the longer deck tech wrap-ups that we've had, but I do appreciate y'all watching all the way through. I appreciate all the continual support here on YouTube, over on Twitch, in the Discord, you know, wherever you're choosing to support me. I appreciate it a literal ton, and then so much more. I can't express that enough. Y'all know it's fun. It's been being blah blah blah. It's been great being able to do this for as long as I have, and have it actually get to the point where I can, like, not work as much as what I once was, and kind of, I would like to say relax, but honestly, I'm putting in, like, more time and stressing myself a little bit more over this stuff. But I think it's the good kind of stress, you know. It's like the people say, you know, if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. It's kind of like that. I really love this stuff. I love bringing content. I love playing Magic. I love analyzing the cards, analyzing my gameplay, trying to help y'all get a little bit better, and in general, having a good time, right? So this is right up my alley, and even though I do put a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of effort into this, it doesn't really feel like work or any of that, because, well, I enjoy it. So I just want to say thank y'all to, you know, everyone that's making this possible, me being able to do this. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all once again. Be sure to leave those likes, comments, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. As always, I hope you have a great night, great morning, whatever time it may be, wherever you are. I'll see you either later tonight or tomorrow. Peace.